Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Junkyard Digs. Today we're starting in on a revival on a vehicle we're going to use for our $1,000 cheap truck challenge. Now this challenge is going to be held between myself, this week with Cars, and a few of our local friends from the area. Now, for this we need a truck, preferably something below $1,000. On top of that, we have $1,000 of budget to put towards the vehicle. I need to find something. I don't have much for 4x4 trucks. Preferably something old, hopefully a Ford, with some manual lockers, maybe a manual or an auto transmission, a 2-barrel, a big motor, something that's rough, rusty, but capable off-road. Nah, these won't do. This, however, this will do just fine. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are reviving a 1979 Ford Bronco. So I'm here with my buddy John today. Got my brother on the camera filming for us. This is at our friend Ron's house, who we've done some off-roading with here in the past. We had a lot of fun out there. I want to go do it again. So here's the plan. Coming up in about, I think, a month now, there's another event at that same location we need to get a truck ready for. What we have, like I said, 79 Ford Bronco. It's got a full axle up front, locking hubs. It should be a Dana 44 in the front and a Ford 9-inch out in the rear. I believe, since this is a 79 Bronco, it should have a 351-400 modified. It does. Oh, it's got some performance-y parts though. There's a flex fan. There's a 2-barrel Holly. That's good, that's good. And chrome valve covers.
5 horsepower for each chrome.
Yeah, things are looking pretty good. The carb's not stuck. I have no idea if the motor is stuck. I have no idea about anything about this vehicle, actually. We're just here because Ron said, hey, there's a Bronco. You should do that. I'm like, that's brilliant. Let's do that. Radiator's empty. There's oil in the oil. That's good. I have no idea when this vehicle last ran. I know nothing about it. Let's dig through, see what we can find about this thing. I do know it's absolutely freaking roached. There is no side of this truck left in the back. It is a rusty pile of junk. So we're definitely not going to be hurting anything that could have been salvaged for this challenge. This thing's junk. It's a parts vehicle. It'll actually be a better shot at life than it's ever going to get otherwise. Oh, it's got a sweet performance-y Ford steering wheel. And an auto trans, and no floor. Like, absolutely no floor. This thing is bad. It's sat outside since the beginning of time without a topper. It's literally full of trash. I see a bunch of drive shafts and stuff. I don't know if they're to this. Ooh, a fan shroud. We're gonna need that. That's probably to this, actually. Holy cow, we have our work cut out for us. There's a frog. Come here, little buddy. A little white frog.
Junkyard frog.
Junkyard frog.
Ah, little tree frog.
Boink. Boink.
Gotcha.
Is this our mascot for the video?
Yeah, for the video. Freddy.
Freddy the frog.
Freddy frog. Let me go put him on the tree.
Oh!
He got on the tree. Perfect. Mint.
Okay, yeah, we're done. Dude, look at that. This thing's been outside since, like, probably since we were born.
Dawn of time.
So, yeah, we absolutely have our work cut out for us on this video. Way more than I was anticipating. Oh boy. I guess let's get some tools over here and see if this thing even spins over. Step one. If it doesn't spin over, I guess we just set up camp and crack into that 24 pack. Call it a camping weekend. Speaking of camping, we should probably go find somewhere to stay, because we didn't bring tents. We got our Tang 7's roller cabinet out here. Rolls over the grass and everything just fine, when most of your toolboxes won't even roll around your shop if there's zip ties on the ground. Check them out, tangtoolsusa.com. Huge thanks to these guys for supporting the channel. Get a 15/16 socket on there and see if she spins. I know it's a 15/16 because it's a Ford. It's not froze. It actually feels pretty decent. Yeah, everything turns.
Missing your power steering.
Are we?
Yeah.
We don't need power steering. Okay, so the hard part's done on this one already. It spins over. So all we have to do is throw a battery in this and put a little fuel down its throat and hope the ignition system works and we're good to go. A couple steps before that, of course. We need to find a starter solenoid off of one of the vehicles out here. Thankfully Ron is a Ford guy, so there should be about 150 of them. This is a DuraSpark ignition system. The DuraSpark box is not present, so we need to figure out something there. Let's go scour through the vehicles at hand and see what we can find. I don't know what's in here at all, but I've been checking around and so far nothing's had anything. Oh, there we go. It's 302. There's the DuraSpark box. There's a starter solenoid. And this thing's definitely not going anywhere. I think this is just being used for an engine, so we're gonna borrow these. How's yours going?
Oh, pretty good. Down to the last bolt.
You wanna race?
Sure.
Oh, you have a ratchet. This ain't fair. Ah! Ha!
Damn it.
I didn't think I was actually gonna be able to do that. What is this? There's a little flippy do.
Nice.
This might come in useful. Gonna hang on to this. Alright, there's our parts. Let's go put them on and then see if things work. I just realized that this is a single prong starter solenoid and this one has 2 wires, although I thought the 7879s were a single wire starter solenoid. So what this does, one of these will control the solenoid from the key and engage that magnet down into the contacts and let continuity flow across from this post through to this post and out when this is energized. When this is not energized, the spring opens it up and these just sit here with nothing passing through. And this one goes to the ignition system so that the draw from the battery does not affect the ignition system as much, because these ignition systems run on 9 volts. So when you have 9 volts and you take a big draw from the battery to turn the motor over, that 9 volts goes down to like 7, and it's not enough to make a spark. So this connects straight into that, and actually while it's cranking, it gives it 12 volts. So if while your key is held in the cranking position, your truck or car runs, but you let off to run and it dies, there's usually a ballast resistor or an inline fuse in this wire, and usually that will have gone bad. Or there's something wrong with the solenoid, or just something in this ignition system bypass circuit. So we got to get a different starter solenoid. But you got the DuraSpark box hooked up, correct?
Yep.
Sweet. I also just realized we don't have a coil. Someone really harvested this ignition system out here. Man, why can't we work on this truck? It is way nicer in this engine bay. It's like clean. All the bolts come right out.
There's not a whole bunch of nuts from squirrels.
Alright, there's our 2-post starter solenoid. And here's some wire we're ultimately going to need for who knows what.
Okay, in order to install one of these, you have to take the nut and you have to unthread it. And then you take all of the stuff that needs to go to the battery side and you put it on the stud there, ever so gently. Just stack them on, however you like. Usually I put the big guy out a little ways, so you know you have more room to work. Then what you do is, am I backwards? I'm f***ing backwards. Never mind, cut all that. Don't do any of that. So, wait, what the f***? This is where John figures out how to install one of these. This is bad, I'm not used to doing this. So, you take your positive side stuff and you put it on the positive side stud, and then after that you take your nut and you ever so gently put it back on the stud, giving it right hand motion turning so it tightens. Left is loose, for those who want to know. And this is going to be a 9/16 wrench, so I gotta get one of those. Give her a few tighty McGee's.
That looks like an absolute mess.
It is an absolute mess.
Stole a coil off that truck. John's putting the starter solenoid on. Getting pretty close to the point where we can throw a battery in and see if anything happens. Or how big the fire is. That would be air conditioning, don't need that. That looks like electronic choke right here. Don't need that. This would be, I don't know what that would be, but we don't need it. So I've had a lot of people message me on Instagram asking, hey, how do I do a revival and how do I work on a truck? This is something I'm working on parked out in the woods. How do I make it run? Just do what we do. Go through the ignition system, go through the carburetor, make sure it's got fuel, air, spark, make sure none of the valves are stuck, get it spun over, oil it, and hit the key. It's really pretty easy stuff. Alright, keep that from going in the engine. Inside the car looks pretty good. Alright, let's put a battery in this and see what comes to life. Okay. Yeah, let's see if anything turns on. I'll go hit the key. Oh, a tree. Heck off, tree. There's a Camp Wapello keychain thing in here. And a CB radio. Can you wiggle the positive, John?
Yeah.
Nothing's happening. I got nothing in here. Let's try hot wiring it. Whoa. Look at this. It's like an aftermarket wiper delay module. Never seen that before. Oh, sweet. Put my window down. Oh, why does that roll so good? Look at this. Like a finger. Oh, solenoid works. He's clicking. Let's see if it has continuity actually though. This damn test light, dude, it's junk. It is older than me and it's finally given out. Alright, let's make a new test light. Anyone see any lights sitting around? We need a dome light, this piece of wire, and that's about it actually.
I had a good idea. I saw these light bulbs in here earlier. And so I was thinking, I mean, it's got 3 wires, but you only need to light up 1 filament. So what you could do is you can trace the wires back as far as you want. Hi, bug. Snip them off. You can make a test light out of that.
Alright, homemade test light.
Take one.
Take one. Boop, boop. It's a little bigger filament, so it takes a bit more amperage than the actual test light, but it will work nonetheless. Solenoid is no good. Oh wait, this side's loose. That might make a huge difference. What do you mean? There we go. It was literally just a loose bolt the whole time.
Does the key work now?
Probably. I bet all the electrical works now. Nah, she's dead. Nada for power inside the cap. That is a lot of wires. Oh my god. Yeah, let's just go ahead and say the electrical system's not going to work in this. Got a lot of weird aftermarket stuff. And I'm sure some of it's failed and stuff's weird all over. People have been into everything, so.
I just saw something. There's a set of wheels.
Oh. Oh, dude. A cot to sleep on tonight.
Oh man.
Awesome. That's exactly what we need.
Destroyer. Detroit, Rock City! That's on there. Shout it out loud's on this. That's mint, man. I wanted the toy, but instead I got messed up by Rose. Ow. Dude.
That's a Nintendo controller that's wrapped up around it. I didn't see that before, I just saw this end.
Oh.
Both so old. You knew exactly what that was.
Maybe you should just be older.
Sorry, I was born in this century.
How old are you?
18.
When I was your age, I was 19. You need to get your shit together.
You can't even read.
I got a toy.
Okay, so let's go ahead, pull this sucker off, shove a screwdriver in it, and see if our coil is producing a spark, which means the DuraSpark is working, the Hall effect sensor is working, the coil's working, the condenser's working, all that good stuff. Alright, go ahead. Nothing. Let me try busting some corrosion on this. Go ahead. There we go. Now we got spark. I think these contacts up here were a little corroded. That happens a lot on the older Fords. Since they're not bolts, they just like slide on. Slide them on and off a few times. Get that working again. So now that we have our coil operational, we can see it sparking out of the coil feed wire into the top of the cap and rotor. Let's take our cap and rotor apart and see how corroded it is. It's really not bad. I think I'm just going to wipe all these off by hand and put it back on. That's my old unit. That's the Iowa Chinooks out of Davenport. Hey gents. Let's see if this thing makes some noise. Go ahead. Is the die only let off?
I think so.
Go ahead.
Still on.
There it is. She runs. Okay, let's get a fuel system set up. That accelerator pump is totally junk. The power valve is probably junk. So we're gonna pull this carburetor off, go rebuild it on the bench. Zing. Ooh, that intake looks really clean. It's probably a good motor. Welcome to today's class, Carburetor 101. I'm your Zoom instructor, Kevin. I feel like I'm giving a college class or something. Everyone's just sitting around me. I look around like I have a lot of friends. There's just 2 people.
I'm excited to be here.
First come, first serve. Off with the fuel bowl. We're not going to do a full rebuild because this thing's not that bad. I'm just going to clean up some stuff and replace the power valve and the accelerator pump. Just let go gently. You can do it. Yeah. Oh, power valve actually moves. It's probably still junk. So this is our fuel bowl. Inside here, you have your float, which as the fuel level comes in, this floats in the gas, and then shuts off the needle and seat, which you can't really see in this one, but it's under this adjustment right here. So it pushes a needle up into a seat and shuts off the fuel flow. On the bottom we have our accelerator pump. This armature pushes down on a diaphragm and pumps fuel through some holes into the carburetor, shoots it. So it goes ch-ch. When you smack your gas open, you have a suddenly very lean condition that the airflow cannot make up for because the airflow is not moving yet because you just opened it and it needs extra fuel. We can't do it for pulling from the Venturis because there's no airflow, so it just mechanically shoots more fuel in to make up for that. This is our metering plate. It's usually a nightmare to separate from the carb body, and it's always terrifying, and you have to like jam a screwdriver in between the two, and I hate that. This one actually came off pretty easy. Just gonna gently massage a screwdriver into that small crack. Being careful not to actually hit the gasket surfaces, which would cause damage. Okay, there's the back of our metering plate. This is our power valve. Note the thickness of this gasket right here. This gasket is X amount thick. When I take this off, and I'm hoping it does what they all do, because I haven't been able to catch it on camera yet, when I take this off, it's going to split, potentially, split perfectly in half. It's going to look like there's 2 half-size gaskets that make up one big gasket. That's not how it works. It's one gasket. It happens every time, even if they're brand new, happens every time you take a power valve out. Most people will take that out and be like, well, why the hell do they have 2 gaskets in there? And then they will put just half of the actual gasket back in, and it will be dumping fuel into itself the whole time. And they'll be like, why does it run wrong? always replace your power valve gasket, and always replace your power valve on a carburetor that's been sitting for time. So we can check to see if this is any good. You can actually already tell it's not because there's fuel on the back side. But all you do is put a little suction on the back and see if you can pull air through it. Oh yeah, I can spin that, it's junk. Might actually be good. No freaking way. We're gonna replace it anyway because we're here. Also, the gasket didn't break in half. I think I've got a file somewhere where I can show you guys an example of that. I'll splice it in right now.
Alright, here we go. Number one thing on a Holley power valve. Oh, and there it went. Can't even really tell on this one right away. But everyone always says, oh, here was the problem. There's two gaskets on it. That's actually not true. They split. Every single time you put them on and you take it off, you have to put a new one on because they will do this. And if you just put one on, it absolutely will leak. You'll be able to notice because there'll be fuel in this little vacuum chamber, which goes straight to manifold vacuum, and it idles like absolute crap because it's getting fuel from here in addition to the idle circuit.
Even if you put both halves of those gaskets in, it will not work.
Absolutely
you have to put a brand new gasket in every time you tighten the power valve.
And look at it; they look perfect.
They
it's
look
like
absolutely like they're manufactured like that.
it looks like it's the cleanest shear. I don't know why it does that.
I have seen issues in the past where this circle and this circle are not imprinted hard enough for whatever reason, which is where the accelerator pump comes from. It goes accelerator pump out of this hole right here, across to this hole right here, which is plumbed up to here, which comes through to this guy, which goes through this gasket, and then into this hole. And if from here to here does not seal well enough, it will pull fuel down into this chamber, which is exposed to vacuum through this hole, which is what operates the power valve, is the vacuum in this chamber. If you have an engine that runs rough and you screw the idle mixture screws all the way in until they're closed and it runs better, either that's leaking in that area or your power valve is bad. I'm going to unscrew our jets, make sure they're looking good, perfectly clean. I'm going to take my can of carb cleaner, just give every orifice a good squirt, make sure it comes out the other side, make sure nothing's clogged up. All these air bleed passages like to get dirt in them because they're exposed to moving air. So give those all a squirt.
So what is an air bleed passage for?
Your air bleeds kind of help control your fuel metering in different places. Usually, you're not going to ever have to touch those. If you're getting into dialing in an O2 reading into 0.1 or 0.2, like Luke does all the time, you're going to then be touching air bleeds once in a while. I think I've only seen it done once on one of Luke's cars that was being really finicky. And it was a very minute change. So, you guys shouldn't ever have to touch them. And on these, you can't because they're not even adjustable. So, Brawlers, however, have adjustable air bleeds. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, our carb body is good to go. Our metering block needs some gasket scraped off, a new power valve screwed in, and then a new power valve gasket, and it's good to go. Let's get our accelerator pump up to snuff as well. Zing, there it goes. That's how you take one of them off. So fun fact, there's two sizes of accelerator pump diaphragms and accelerator pumps for Holleys. There's this one, the smaller CC, I forget the number. And there's this one, the bigger one. I also forget the number. As you can see, they're different sizes. Now there's a quiz at the end, so I hope you're taking notes.
Yeah.
Eeny, meeny, miny, the rusty one. Okay, there we go. So, why these fail? They're a rubber diaphragm, and over time they will harden. And then they'll be like this, where I literally cannot push it down. And there it broke. See, that's what'll happen. Is they'll be solid and frozen, and then they will literally shatter and crack. I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually cracked. And then they will leak at that point. So if there's fuel pouring out of this hole on the bottom of your carburetor, it's because it's cracked and bad and junk. So get a new one. Another thing, if you can never get these things with seal and you're having issues, take a piece of glass, put a piece of sandpaper on it, roll this around in there a bit, sand this down a bit, and it will help level this back out. They tend to warp sometimes. I'm curious if our needle and seat works. There's only one way to find out. It does. There's an accelerator pump. So I'm going to clean up all the gasket surfaces, throw this back together, put it on the truck, set up a fuel system, hit the key wire, and it should sit there and run just fine. As long as like the motor's good. Just sounds okay, so we'll see. Let's do it. I've got this homemade gasket I found floating around in my box. I figured that's pretty appropriate for this. So there we go. I think that's from the Thunderbird. Oh my god. Let me see the camera. I just noticed something. That right there is a C-clamp holding the exhaust on. There is, someone put like a screw down C-clamp for like woodworking and metal and like welding, and they used it to bolt the exhaust back on because one of the header bolts snapped off for the flange. Crazy.
So we need a fuel tank. So I think this snapper is gonna do the trick. Give me it. There we go. Oh, look at that. I already got a filter.
Alright, that's the fuel system, that's a carburetor, that's everything we need. Let's put fuel in the fuel system, put power to the fuel pump, and see if this sucker runs. So this is some like 15-year-old gas we got from a boat. Should be good to go. I think it's marine gas. Still smells fine and runs great and everything I've put it in so far. Let's give it a little fuel. See how bad our needle and seat leak. Our fuel pump's running. Things are looking good. Not too many big leaks. We've got our ignition on. Go ahead, sir. There it is. Oh, good. Got a little lifter noise on this side, but she's a runner. It runs really good. It's saying it's got high oil pressure. Yeah, the oil indicator works. It says it's well beyond normal. That's actually like the best running 351 modified I've ever come across. That's pretty damn impressive. I think before we go any farther, I want to see if the transmission even like goes into gear. So let's fire it back up. I'll hop inside and slide it into gear and see if it tries to move, which means we need to move all of our tools and stuff out of the way, and then we'll be good to go. I'll be amazed if that transmission works after sitting for we don't know how many years. Ron is home now, so hopefully he ventures out here soon and he can answer that question. The transfer case is currently locked in 4 low. I'm sure every single tire is completely flat. This one over here has a massive nail sticking out of it. So it's not going to want to roll very well. But at the same time, they should have plenty of grip because they're all flat, unless it just spins in the rims. So locked in 4 low, sunk 6 inches in the ground, flat tires. This is going to be interesting. I think it's about a 50-50 if it'll crawl out of the hole. If there's ever a vehicle that will do it, it's probably a 79 4x4 Bronco.
Is it spinning?
Try backwards. Oh, our timing might be a little wonky.
That was a bad sound.
That was interesting. Let's try one more and then we're gonna give up. Actually, we should probably just give up.
Yeah.
This is probably the worst thing you can do for a transmission that's been sitting for a million years. So we're just gonna get the jack and pick it up out of the dirt. You can see the clamp really good from over here. What a beaut. It works though. That exhaust is super quiet.
What you
Means
put
the
into it?
tire's at 35. Alright, let's see how the one with the giant screw in it does. Look at that. Also, is that shock buckled in half?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, that ain't normal. This one's flat as hell. I don't know if we're gonna be able to fix that. It's actually taking air. Look out, this might just shoot out like a bullet. The frame's not too bad. Oh good. I just noticed that all the lugs are missing off this tire. There's only 2 lugs.
So close.
Get it 4 low? I think it's in 4 low.
Oh, damn.
So it looks like our tire, which is in the largest hole, is also seized. So assuming we get a floor jack under that, lift it up, try to pop the drum off, put the wheel back on, something. We'll figure it out.
He killed a mouse
We killed a mouse with
on
a
accident.
with a truck.
Zing. Oh,
Whoops.
rest in peace, little guy. You got the whole family.
Oh, were they in the exhaust?
They must have been in the exhaust.
Oh, I must have asphyxiated them.
You got the whole fam.
Dang. Squad wipe.
Multi-kill.
Oh yeah, that's stuck. Heck. That should maybe do something good or bad. Come down. Probably just crack this board, we'll see. Crack the board. Ah, you're good.
Oh my gosh, it actually didn't.
Seconds. Okay, let's try it again. If we can get it moving with all the other wheels, I think we'll have a decent shot at actually maybe snapping that free. Or off, who knows. So we have a number now. Ron said it sat for about 8 years out here. Must be really wet out here because it sunk fast for that. Damn. There you go. Done, runs. That's pretty impressive.
It was like a 1/4 inch of Bondo right there.
Holy cow.
I don't think it's gonna make it look any better though.
It looks so much worse now that it's out of the weeds. Yeah,
Weight
definitely Definitely not hurting any classics that weren't already doomed on this episode. Look at this. There's paint behind this sheet of metal, actually. What the hell? It's like they covered it with another panel and then probably matched it up here. Alright, so the truck is out of the hole. The next step is to clean it out. We got a bunch of steel and other stuff. We're going to separate it into scrap piles. That's the steel pile. There's lots of camping supplies right away, I've noticed. Mattress thing. I think that whole tub's full of cutlery. Foot hinges.
A pencil sharpener. Because every Ford Bronco needs
A sharp pencil.
a sharp pencil.
Hey, we might be able to use this actually.
Oh yeah, for cooking.
So, if we haven't mentioned it already, we're camping here tonight because this is a camping revival, and we're going to call this one the survival revival. So basically, whatever we find in here and around us is what we have to survive for the night. We brought like a skillet and some sleeping bags and pillows. That was it. And some food. We're not going to eat the asphyxiated mice.
What? Come on. Damn it. I'm hungry.
So let's see what we can find in here and around here for stuff. Yum. Oh, Jesus, that blew up really big. Okay, I literally did not plan this, but I think we actually, like, of all the vehicles here, we got the camping vehicle.
Oh, don't rip it, it's not good.
This is a tent.
Oh, man.
If we end up sleeping in cars and one of them doesn't have a window, we might need this rain fly. This is a popcorn popper.
What?
Yeah, you stir the popcorn. Or the rust, apparently. You stir the rust around.
Hey, it's all seasoning.
Oh, I dumped out all the flavor. Damn. Look at that, that's a fancy one. We can make scrambled eggs.
Oh, we
Scrambled-
actually could.
No. This would be scrambled rust, dude. This thing's so thin. I don't think that's salvageable. What are the chances we got like the camping truck that's full of someone's camping supplies?
Do we still need shocks for the front?
Probably, yeah. Oh, that was porcelain.
These are brand new.
Oh, heck.
Oh.
Did they compress?
Yes.
Did they rebound?
Yes.
Oh, those are good. Throw them on the keep pile. I won't say the state of the gun. Into the burn barrel.
Hey, you guys want to make some bread?
Oh my
It's a
god.
Tonka toaster.
Dude, this might actually be good. Oh, we're keeping this. We can make hot dog sandwiches.
I found another tent.
Holy crap.
I don't know what that is, but that looks gross.
He's not wrong. Ooh, what's that? Into the keep pile. Oh, dude, you might be able to sleep in this one.
I don't know.
What are the chances that it actually, like, legit, there were tents here? Okay, there's a little hole, and it stinks a touch, but you could live in that.
I've lived in worse. I got a panel.
Oh, that's the trunk panel. Or the bed panel, I guess, if you will.
It's
Tailgate panel.
There you go, that's the one. Ooh, yeah, just...
Yep.
Ooh, brakes. That's all composted soil. Red. The good news is there's this easy, like, clean hole over here, if you would call it. A drain hole for poop. Yeah, get out of here. Oh, careful, those are the fuel lines.
Oh God.
We might need those.
This mat is pretty gross.
Oh, I think that's just the carpet. There's a body mount. Not attached to a single thing.
Gross. Gross.
I think that'll do her. What the hell is this?
Oh, it's a shredder.
Credit card, CDs, and paper. Where's the...
It's right here.
Oh my gosh, we can shred things. done, we can make shredded cheese.
Oh my gosh.
Here's a piece of paper to test it on.
It actually worked pretty damn
Hey, you know what? We could actually use this to start a fire tonight.
That's smart.
Sweet. Keep. Here's what we want. 1999. Prior salvage. Crap. She's got a salvage title. Throw them back there. We'll make it a 6-seater.
Stay.
Sorry. Look at all that poop. Whoa, look at that funnel.
Oh, that's actually a good funnel.
That's a quality unit.
Keep.
Keep. Oh, shit.
Ford emblems.
Hell yeah, keychains.
Oh,
You
sick,
want one?
yeah.
One really rusty fuse.
90.
Nice lug nut. It's a good lug nut.
Yeah. A Craftsman. 7/16.
Another
Ooh.
beautiful lug nut. Put them up there. What am I thinking?
Keep.
Keep. Alright, we're gonna vacuum this sucker out. Nothing to see here. Just boring, gross, disgusting work. Then we're gonna set up camp. We'll be back for the camp part. See you in a bit.
Freddy Frog found a new place to hide. Go on.
What the hell?
Go to the branch! Go to the goddamn branch!
What just happened?
The frog, Freddy Frog wanted his revenge, came at my face.
Nice.
Let her rip.
Figured it's easier to just rip all the carpet out and try to actually like vacuum the carpet. I'm gonna see how bad it is and show you that what we're about to do to this truck is not gonna hurt anyone's feelings.
Is this just like an extra
It's probably an extendy boy
for the big guys who ride in here?
for the big boys. So we found a registration paper and we got the tailgate closed, as you can see. And sure enough, this was last on the road. It matched the papers in the glove box. It was last on the road in 2002. So it's been off the road for 18 years, sitting out here for somewhere between 8 and 10. Pretty surprising that it fired up that easy. Pretty impressive.
Dude, I'm sleeping in a hammock.
You're gonna freeze and die.
That's like, if I lose a couple toes, that's just, you know, that's just,
This is
well,
just
it would
part
suck,
of it.
but yeah, I mean, that's just part of it.
That's just revival
You got
survival.
10.
I mean, I'm gonna make a hammock out of that old rain tarp.
We were literally planning on coming here and sleeping in either a bombed out bus or like some of these cars, but looking at them, they are disgusting. They've been here for 15 years and they're bad, and they're all full of parts. So
And
we're gonna wimp out and sleep in a pop-up camper.
I'm not.
Except for John, he's gonna sleep in a hammock.
Could you just like show everyone just how bad that is?
Oh, it's bad.
Oh, it's destroyed. It's obliterated. It's unrepairable. You would need a new Bronco to restore this Bronco. At which point, just have a different Bronco. So we're gonna, you know, cheap truck challenge it, and then make it an off-road buggy or something cool. Give it another shot at life.
Wait.
A vice grips.
Oh, yeah. For about the whole length of this door, there is no floor.
Ooh. A dinosaur vice grips. Ah, a pterodactyl. Okay, here we go. Let's see how bad it really is. Oh yeah, it's obliterated. This is what we deal with in Iowa. This is most of classic cars. This one's a pretty rough example. It's definitely up there in the upper end of toast, but look at all the wiring. Oh, it's just loose wires. Okay, that one's not, but now it is. Don't need those. It's so rusty it doesn't even move it. So rusty it doesn't even move in separate pieces. It's just not even here anymore. What is holding that seat in? Like the cross member's gone.
That would be the
Stick
cross
your
member.
hand where it's supposed to be.
Doink!
Yeah,
Right
there.
here. This little piece of metal right here. That's holding it in. Right there. That's the only thing that's keeping her alive.
Let's sweep her out, vacuum it, and then go have ourselves a bonfire, boys.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, you've been doing some art with that pen you found?
Yeah, I got her tatted up. Junkyard Digs!
Damn.
Yee. It's not my best work.
I'm gonna have to make
But
you
it'll
like
do.
an employee now or something. John might just become part of the channel.
He's got the shirt.
I would enjoy this very much.
What do you guys think? Do you guys like John?
Come on, guys.
Should he stick around?
I'm kind of funny. I do some funny stuff sometimes, you know.
He does a lot of great art.
Yeah. I traced that, by the way.
Alright, the cameraman and I have set up shop in the pop-up camper Ron loaned to us. Thank you very much, Ron. Turns out the bus was full of transmissions and stuff, so maybe next time. But John is still determined to rough it and do some survival revival stuff. And use the rain fly he found in that truck to make a hammock and sleep out in the elements all night, where it's going to be, you know, like literally 40 degrees tonight. It's probably 55 right now.
I'll be warm enough.
You'll be fine. You're going to die. There's a boat down there you sleep in. What are those?
So, I'm not gonna lie. I am cheating a little bit. So, I brought a hammock already, just in case this didn't work or I didn't find anything. So then I was gonna, you know, still rough it in the elements. So, I'm gonna use these straps. However, I am gonna try it with the rain fly I found. So, kind of roughing it, kind of semi-prepared. I was an Eagle Scout, so.
Hey, me too.
Ah, freaking Eagle
Hey,
Scout.
you too. Oh, yeah.
Ah,
Oh,
yeah, Eagle
Hey.
Scouts.
let's do something really dumb and hurt ourselves now. I wish you luck.
Thank you, sir. Because I'm gonna need it.
You're gonna die.
I'm not gonna die. I'll be fine.
You're gonna die.
Mom, if you see this, I'm sorry for my poor choices. And I hope the funeral costs aren't that expensive. It looks like a hammock. Was it made to be a hammock? I don't think so.
Oh my god. So
What's
we
up,
just
boys? I'm scraping the ground, so I need some.
need to raise her up a bit.
Yeah, just a bit.
So if you can't tell, this is not a total serious revival like we usually do on this channel. It's a $1,000 cheap truck challenge. We're tired of getting our asses kicked every day by school right now because we're both still seniors in college. We just want to go camping and have some fun for a weekend. Thought we'd bring you guys along. So go grill up some hot dogs and drink some beers. So I suppose at this point we call upon the spirits of our Australian brethren and we have a hydration session. We'll be back. I found a road flare and we put it in the fire and now everything is red. Including our skin.
I got a flare! I got a flare! I got a flare! Once there was a car, and it had a carburetor.
No!
Wait, what kind of carburetor?
I think you know what kind of carburetor.
No, please don't say it. Alright, so we're going to end episode 1 of the 79 Bronco Revival right here. Thank you to John for helping me out all day. Thank you to Jesse for filming. And thank you to Ron for selling us the vehicle and letting us stay on his property and for the pop-up camper and for all this awesome stuff.
Aw, stop.
So tomorrow we're going to pick this up right where we left off, making some breakfast on the campfire, and then heading over and finishing up in the truck. I'll try to drive it around the yard a few times before we leave and get started on cutting it up, wrenching it, whatever the heck we got to do for our cheap truck challenge coming up in a couple weeks right here on Junkyard Digs. Make sure you subscribe to Thunderhead 289, Junkyard Mook, Dylan McCool, Classic Mustangs 429, Vice Jeep Garage, Deboss Garage, Cars and Cameras, the whole gang. If you liked the video, leave a like, leave a comment down below what you think we should do with this truck, how we should build it into the ultimate rig for only $1,000. We'll see you next week right here on Junkyard Digs. Okay, so I realize now we've accidentally become cliche media company, where after a full day of shooting, we go have supper and a few drinks, and then we retire to our quarters for the night. The host gets the executive suite. The camera crew gets a couch. And then there's the hired help, who's literally in a hammock while it's like 45 degrees out.
Hi.
What's up, man? You gonna be good out here?
Oh, I'm gonna be warm.
Okay, well, if you get cold, there's room in the camper.
Alright.
So, alright, Jesse. Let's go to bed. John, good luck to you. We'll see you in the morning.
Thank you. Good night.
Hopefully you live to part 2. You guys will have to subscribe to find out. Hey, just remember, if you start getting eaten by coyotes or raccoons, yell first so I can come film it.
Okay, my safe word is peaches.
Alright, we'll see you in the morning.